Let's just take everybody back for a second. So we built the studio. It was a few months before we launched the first episode. Mm-hmm. We were kind of trying to figure out how to kick off the first episode. Like, what do you do? What do you talk about? What in the heck is an episode, and how do you end it, and how do you start it? How do you end it, and everything in between, right? So, a lot of what we do today, especially in the beginning, was through the mentorship and vision of our buddy old Brad Lee. And I asked him, I was like, Brad, we're about to kick off episode 1 of the podcast. How'd you kick off yours? When we did, he was 300 episodes in when I kicked off mine. So I said, Brad, how'd you kick off episode 1? He said, well, I walked out into my office, and the first person I saw, I pointed at him, and I said, hey, you. Come here and have a seat. Put these headphones on. And that was how the podcast started. So when we started episode 1 of the podcast, I walked out into the office. You were the first person that I saw. So I said, hey, Dale, come back here and sit down. And we shot episode 1 of the podcast.
Now, granted, Brad probably had more to choose from than what you did.
Maybe it was. Were you the only person here?
Probably. Well, that was during COVID. So
that's right.
Probably. It was probably pretty thin pickings at that point.
That's right. Yeah. It was during COVID. That's how, folks. We're talking like 4 years.
Yeah.
That we've been doing this sucker, right? I guess we planned on getting here. When you think about the amount of guests that we've talked to and considered and took calls and emails from and everything else, when we first started this thing, where did you think it was going to go?
I didn't know. I had no idea. I knew it was a vehicle that you wanted to bring in to start conversations with people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what it's done. Now, where those conversations lead, that's been up to you and, the guest or whoever.
Yeah.
But you have met I've met a ton of people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That I probably, definitely would have never crossed paths with otherwise.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's an episode that as we're filming this one, we've already filmed, but it comes out after this one, and that is going on campus at Vanderbilt, interviewing head football coach Clark Lee in the team room. Which, as a Vanderbilt Commodore fan, that was a cool day for you. Yeah,
it was, and it was a long time in the making.
Mm-hmm. It took about a year to make that happen.
Yeah, since before the Alabama game last year. Yeah.
Those are some of the, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes of stuff like this. So here's what I'd like to accomplish with this episode. Obviously, we're looking back at 199 episodes. We got some great statistics from the main man, Jensen, over here. Jensen's the real MVP out of all this, right? So that's right. So Jensen's going to be shouting out some stats for us, how many guests that we've had, how many repeat guests we've had, and how many episodes. We've had co-hosts. Top episodes, accolades of our guests, and things like that. But aside from that, I also want to kind of let people know, we get calls from a lot of people. Hey Nick, should I consider starting a podcast? It's a very common question that we get asked, and the answers are never. It's not a one size fits all answer. Mm-hmm. It's got to be custom. And it depends, because, if you're doing a podcast by yourself and it's just you talking to the camera, well, you might not. I don't guess you need a booking agent as bad, do you? And you're not having to track down information and so on and so forth. But let's walk them through. So first things first is we make let's walk them through what it looks like behind the scenes just to get to film a podcast episode, before we get into any type of editing or everything else, right? So first things first is we have a working prospect list, right? And that prospect list is built of people that it started off as just people that I wanted to bring on, right? So how did I use the podcast? Well, you mentioned the growth. When I first started the podcast, it was so that I could have meetings and get FaceTime with people that I really didn't have another reason to get them in the room, right? That was a big thing. It's like, man, I'd really love to get an hour with that guy, an hour or two with that guy or that young lady. But how in the world, why would they meet with me? I need to give them a reason to do so. And this show gave us that reason to do that. Around 100 episodes, we all started kind of looking around saying, man, look what this has turned into. It's turned into, 14 staff hours and growing per episode. Thousands of dollars worth of expense to make it all happen, 2 hours of my time, studio time, office time, utilities, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's what it turned into. And it's like, man, like, well, what comes next if it's not just building relationships? What else can it do? It can advertise. It can highlight new clients. It can be a lead generator for new clients. It can be an advertising platform, which it's turned into. It can be a platform where people that maybe who aren't necessarily qualified as far as success or reach goes, but they can pay to become a sponsor and get highlighted that way on an episode, right? So it's evolved quite a lot, right?
Absolutely.
And there's no book for that. It's basically like we come together and we discuss problems that we need to solve, and usually those solutions are kind of the evolution of what's happened, right? So we never, at day one, we didn't set out and say by episode 100 we want to monetize this sucker, we want to sell ads and so on and so forth. That wasn't how it went, was it?
No, not at all.
But, if you could do it all over again, that might not be a bad idea. And that's the expertise and help that we get to help other people when they're launching their podcast, right? So, all right, so let's talk about it. When we first started, we had a prospect list. I think I put 100 names on it to start.
Yes.
And then we went through and basically, like with color coding the spreadsheet, these are people that I'd love to have, and if we can't get those, here's next, and here's next, and here's next. We don't shoot these live, right? We record all this.
Right.
When we record this, how long does an episode usually, how prior before it airs is it usually filmed, give or take?
I'm more comfortable if we've got 6 or 8 ready to go.
Got it.
So 6 weeks to 2 months.
Got it.
Depending on if the guest has an event, a book release, something that they're publicizing and want to coincide with that.
So we're working around a lot of...
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of considerations, right? All right, so... and then once we started doing that, then all of a sudden people started coming to us to be on the podcast. We started getting referrals. Previous guests would send us referrals. PR companies, random people just reaching out saying, hey, I've got somebody that you should put on your show, or I would love to be considered for your show, right? And they get added to the list, and then there's a vetting process for everything, right? So and the people that are paying to be associated with those episodes, those usually take some form of priority for the most part, unless it's one of our partners or partnerships or clients, and they've got a deadline of something they're promoting, right?
Okay. We went from seeking out to vetting.
That's right. 200 guests in. And growing, no sign of stopping. We keep working on ways to scale more. 2 episodes, 3 episodes, new shows. All those things are coming in 2025. What's one of the biggest changes that we've made to show signs of growth with this show, Dale? Anything stick out?
Just as far as, like you said, the amount of folks that seek us out now, as opposed to having to run people down.
Yeah.
I've been kind of amazed at the amount of emails that you get on a weekly basis, as far as people that have seen the show, realize, that it's publicizing people, and they're able to get some good press from that or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we've got PR firms, we've got everything else that is sending us folks now asking if we would put them on.
Yeah, I mean, we could not take a call or open an email for at least a year, and we could film episodes and still have people left over.
We are well fixed at this point. So.
Oh yeah, literal. Yeah. We've got little waiting lists that we've populated, right? So I'm saying all that maybe to brag a little bit because it's awesome. Like it's a testament to everything that a whole bunch of people have worked for.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely proud of it. So if people say, Nick, you're bragging a little bit, you're damn right I am. I'm bragging on every single person that's done.
As far as the show itself, I mean, the tech, which is not at all my area, but 1, 2, 3, I'm seeing 4 cameras in here now.
Yep.
It wasn't that way when you started.
That's right.
And in fact, when you started, the staff was me.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And of course, I didn't do the editing or anything like that.
But you are the camera guy.
Yeah.
You are the studio
Yeah.
tech, the studio lead.
Yeah.
And folks, his the entire time, with all the stress and change I've thrown at him, not one time did he mess up trimming his mustache and have to lose it. It stayed the same the entire time.
Yeah, last time that vanished was when I had to have my nose worked on. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe for more, and visit nickhyder.com.